What's going on, guys? My name is Barney and welcome back to a brand new video. So first of all, I'd like to thank the forum user Ash on the Renegade Line forums. I wanted to give a more in-depth look on my opinion on reviving BFH already, but I actually didn't have the time to do that because of all my last exams this year. And I think that I would have come up with almost the same list as Ash, but he made up his mind in his forum thread, which I heavily agreed on. And if you want to read his post, which basically is my view as well, I'll give a link to it in the description. So this video is made from part of his post, and personally I don't want to give my view on why I don't support all the BFH revives, since it seems pretty obvious to me, plus it will only give more drama, which I don't like actually. So yeah, the common theme of his post is that people were comparing Renegade Line with Revive Heroes, of the Revive of Battlefield Heroes, all those projects, and which seems like comparing apples with pears, like we say in Dutch. We're comparing two different things. They have different goals, and then I'm talking about Renegade Line and the BFH revives. They have different goals. They're different things. Yeah. However, I do not want to tell you why or even talk about the subject, since I picked out a little bit of Ash's post, which just was one small topic of his post, but it seemed very relevant to me. So it's a fact that basically 99% of the people who know Renegade Line are ex-Battlefield Heroes players. And everyone wanted a BFH until we found out about Renegade Line. And I was surprised how much it looked like Battlefield Heroes. And I'd love to see something better than Battlefield Heroes. And every time we get news, I was surprised how much it looked alike, but it could be something more, something better. Meanwhile, the game started to gain its own look. Over time, the devs made their own art style, which diverged from BFH, and people were not really accepting that, since they wanted Battlefield Heroes back and not Renegade Line. I'm not saying that the art style is superior to BFH. Everyone has their own opinion on that, and you have to judge for yourself on that topic. But it's definitely different than the Battlefield Heroes style, and I learned to accept that it's not Battlefield Heroes we're getting back, but something totally different. And it has another feel, but that's the exciting part to me. One thing that Ash stated is that he contributed his opinions, tips, criticism, and money of course to the project because he thinks that Raw Vengeance, the producers of Renegade Line, gave us an excellent opportunity to rebuild something, to learn from the mistakes which were made in the past, and as a community we can actually make a difference at this point. We can rebuild something even better than we have known before. I know that it seems far from here, but we can make something better incrementally. The project is still early, and the finished project will be way better, and together we can do that. All of the flaws of Renegade Line will eventually be updated through feedback which we give to RV, and RV stands for listening to the community, so there's no reason why they shouldn't take our criticism. And to quote Ash, I strongly hold the belief that this game can be more than just a new BFH. We proved that as a small community we can actually move mountains. Remember when people were worried that we could raise enough money to surpass the Kickstarter goal? Now we've raised 130k euros, and even though we're just about 10k people only at the moment, this game is on the best way to not just feel like BFH, but improve this feeling, the gaming experience, and boost the long-running motivation, since the devs are people who actually are capable of showing empathy, people who don't consider us a source of money. This was one quote I really agreed on. I had a conversation with a friend of mine on a party, which randomly went about nostalgia, and if something was really nostalgia, or if it was something you really enjoyed doing whenever you could back in the day, and that it was not just nostalgia, but you feeling the way that you had to play something, but in the end it will end up disappointing you. That friend of mine told me he still loved playing some old school games. It was really nostalgia, and he would come back to some certain games eventually and keep on playing them over and over again because he really loved them. His nostalgia was real. And this is exactly what I think most people overestimate. I do think that there will be people who truly love the game once it's there and will keep on playing it. But I think the vast majority will have their nostalgia trip and will drop the game after a while. Their needs have been fulfilled, and they might pick up another game and maybe come back to the revived Battlefield Heroes once in a certain period. As Ash said in his thread, we should not forget that nostalgia can make us blind as hating something for no reason. Ash also thinks that the revival of Battlefield Heroes won't get the same atmosphere as BFH once had. And I completely agree with that. It might have something to do with accepting that BFH is dead, and I had that as well. I even accepted that BFH would die eventually before the shutdown was announced. You could see it coming, and I was so fed up with how easy treated the game, so I left it early. And another quote from Ash, which is a pretty long one, but I can relate to it as well. We get older, and we have to move on. By digging out something I struggled to say farewell to, but somehow managed to get over it, I would just trap myself into an illusion that maybe these times where I was more carefree and less responsibilities would still be there. BFH was a part of my life, and so many good memories are being connected with the game, the community, and everything I experienced back then. I prefer BFH to be a good memory I think about once in a while than trying to dig for that feeling I had back then. Who says I can't experience the same joy and happiness with Renegade Line as I had with Battlefield Heroes? In my opinion, you will never get happy or become satisfied if you're just sticking to your old memories and stuff from the past. Renegade Line is a new game and new start. By giving it a chance, you can maybe get what you seek for, or even better. But you can never find that out if you just don't try it out. Personally, I think a lot of people have never accepted BFH's death and are trapping themselves to have another decade of fun, which they used to experience as a kid. I've had this with a lot of things as well. Sometimes I did like it and still do certain things. For example, I sometimes play Pokemon on my Game Boy Advance because it's very accessible. I can just play it and turn it off after 30 minutes, and I do that once in a while. But I think a lot of people just overestimate everything and will end up disappointed in the end. I hope I provided you with some stuff to think about. When you guys have made your mind up about this, I'd love to see what you guys think about your personal case of nostalgia related to Battlefield Heroes, and why you think the revival of BFH will be the best thing to happen to you in the next few months, or maybe how it could disappoint you, or whatever. I'm very interested in your point of view on this topic. And as always, I hope you guys enjoyed this little video, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Later!